Well, hello and welcome to Conscious Gatherers. Tonight's episode is number 108, and today's date is November the 28th, 2023. My name is Beverly Thompson, and I'm here with AJ Royce.
Good evening.
All right, here we are at the end of November, we're in the holidays, and I hope you all have enjoyed your Thanksgiving and Christmas and whatever else that you may celebrate, if anything, this next month. But enjoy it all.
Yes. Just enjoy being alive. If you don't celebrate any of those holidays, and just have fun.
Have fun. It's a lot more fun to play, isn't it? All right. Yes, we have some insights to bring to you tonight that we received actually in the last couple hours. So it's interesting that I would say a being, and he gave a name, but very tall being came in today, and it's kind of hard to tell, but in physicality, I would say he's like 12 foot tall.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's tall.
Yeah, big guy. But imparted some information, and as many of you know through our other podcast, I'm pretty visual, so it helps me with the vision. So, and many people aren't, and it's okay. It really doesn't matter. So, but I share what I see and honest about it, and even though it may seem pretty far out for a lot of people, but so be it. Some of the things that we see is pretty far out, and we shake our heads and think, what the heck? So it continues a lot, but I don't know if that's much weirder than what's going on in the world right now anyway.
I think I would rather have this.
Exactly. It's like, okay, what's really going on? And I still think there's a lot going on that we don't see, a lot.
Yes.
Behind the scenes, and the curtain is being pulled back, and I think a little more will be shown. Well, there has been. Every time we have a podcast, a little bit more is shown.
Yeah.
Not that people believe it, probably not, and some do. It's both ways. So there's a lot of psychological goings on with people trying to divide us, and that could be through the media, through shows, through other podcasters, all different ways that they're trying to make the division greater than what it is.
And frequencies.
Yeah, there you go. So it's so a lot is going on, I feel, and overall is we're all here together and to get along. If you want, obviously it's your own path, but it doesn't have to be where you argue with one another. Yeah, I had a conversation with one of my sons who doesn't quite believe what I do in some ways, and so I just I semi-smile. And not to smirk or anything like that, but I just feel like, hey, this is what where you're at, and this is where I'm at, and I can't deviate from what I understand, and I think they honor that, my kids honor that, because if you didn't, and you don't want to, I'm not wishy-washy, and because I'm true to myself. And so that's a big part of what's going on right now, is to being true to yourself.
Actually, that's what we've been called to do, is to be true to ourselves right now, because it's needed.
Definitely needed. I'm gonna start out with something I wrote back in. Actually, the date is December 31st of 01. So New Year's Eve of 2001. In that I'm going through many of my writings, through my journals, etc., and pulling out things for my next book, which, I think it's really far off right now, because there's only so many days a week that I can really focus on this, or I choose to focus, put it that way. Anyway, but I heard the this said by somebody else in the last few days, and it's about a biblical passage about turning the other cheek. And the discussion was, I can no longer turn my other cheek. I got to stand up for my rights, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the information I received from Sananda, who was part of the body of, or in the body of what we call Jesus or Yeshua. I like the name Yeshua better. I mean, like it's a name. Anyway, this is the information he gave me back in 2001. And so I wanted to share with you what he says to turn the other cheek really means. And I thought it was apropos for right now.
Yeah.
And so here's what he said. Go into the void, see the unmanifested energies of divine light. So the void is unmanifested energies of divine light. Now, with pure intent, call in these energies to surround the new world. And that's what's forming right now, the new world. Now look inward, inside this circle. Watch your intents manifest themselves. Why would you look away from your own manifestations? Embrace what has been created. If it is time to change this creation, then send it off to be reabsorbed into the void. This I give you to manifest the new. Love unto all. Sananda. So, turning the other cheek is not turning the other cheek of your fellow man, but I feel what he's telling me here, that the biblical passage where that is written, what he was actually saying is, why would you want to turn away from what you manifested?
Mm-hmm.
That means never a victim, correct?
Yeah.
And now, if it's something that you really don't want in your life, then you send it back to be reabsorbed into the void. Mm-hmm. And then you start again. And well, we're always pulling from the void. That's how we manifest things. So it's that divine light energy. So I just feel that's a very interesting take on what that means.
Yes.
And to me, it makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminded me of something that I wrote in When the Night Comes Creeping. It's about if we're always trying to hit the mark. And if you don't hit it, so what? You keep trying. And keep shooting for the, it's like a bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. You're trying to hit the bullseye. If you miss, you try again. Mm-hmm. You
set the old mark, don't you?
Yes.
Nobody's putting it there except you.
Yep.
So it's just like when you start realizing this, it's like, wow, I'm in charge of me. Mm-hmm. It's my full responsibility. You talk about divisions. We talk about what this division stuff going on. It's a bunch of BS. When you really look at it, because
we're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, and we're following somebody else's narrative. Which we're all one, yes, but within this, it's just like, are you going to follow that scenario or not? I mean, I guess we all have a choice.
That's right.
So anyway, I thought, especially at this time of year and what's going on right now, it would be, we wanted to talk about this. So to me, it makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. We're going to move on. Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to go into? We talked about escapism. You want to talk about that now?
We can.
Okay.
I have to tell you what's going on here. Bev just dropped a bomb on me. I don't have anything written down about this, and I hadn't spent any time really thinking about it. So, but we were we were talking about how, there's different ways of taking the escape mechanism. What one person may be doing to escape, somebody else may be going to that same thing as a something to soothe their soul. Like if somebody is playing a video game or something, they may be going into that video game and just staying stuck there because they just can't deal with the world. So they're escaping into the game. And somebody else may be going into the game because they've been involved in dealing with everything and they need to take a break.
A little bit of both going on, but we've noticed that people that don't want to face their lives, take responsibility, all that we just talked about on turning the other cheek and looking at your own manifestations. They would rather sink into playing video games or whatever it is, so they don't even have to look at anything else.
Yeah.
But you're just prolonging, and does that? And now, if you can encourage people to talk, to communicate, and so you can politely say, can we have a discussion here? And so that means put away their games.
Yeah.
And so you can do it politely to help these people, because it's, you can it's like burying yourself,
yeah.
but it doesn't make what they're fearful of go away.
Yeah.
Okay. And other times we do need, sometimes I need just to get away and get my mind on something else. And now that it's Christmas time, I'll probably watch a couple of those sappy Hallmark, movies that seem to repeat the same story, but you don't have to think much to watch those.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, just think yourself into that for a little bit, and then
But
get your mind off the other
sometimes it
stuff.
is kind of neat to watch something where you don't have to think very much, just to sit down and relax. I like to go out on the patio and just dig on nature a while.
Yeah.
That just really feeds my soul, I tell you.
That's one of the best things that we can do, is just to watch nature and watch the communication with the animals, the birds, and animals and birds together. The leaves are falling here. The color changes are gone, but they're basically gone. But there's such beauty out there, and so it just takes you away from all of the other stuff that's going on, and just look at it. Look at every aspect of nature and feel it.
Yeah, but I will tell you, things got so intense there for a while. I was really having a difficult time reconnecting with nature. It's like, I believe you said that you were a few days you were waking up, and it's like felt like everything changed, like Bev and I talked about, how when you first start awakening spiritually, you kind of have that first love feeling for it. You're all excited and everything is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's that kind of feeling that I get when I'm out in nature, is I see something brand new all the time. But there for a bit, it was just so intense that I was having a very difficult time reconnecting with that. And it was like it was almost non-existent for a few days, which really was even more irritating to me. So I was heaping more on my head, But I've been able to reclaim that because I've realized what was going on. And I believe sometimes there are other energies at play that interrupt our spiritual selves.
You realized it was there.
Yeah.
And you can disperse those or send them back to where they came,
Yeah.
or send them into the void,
Yeah.
as what
Yeah.
Sananda had to say. So,
absolutely.
yeah, so, lots to think about, especially during this more intense times.
Yeah. So when you start to feel antsy or disjointed, sit down with it and try to figure out what's going on, where did this come from, and then go into action.
Yeah, and listen to yourself as to what to do with this, what to do about it.
Yeah, you may come up with some really, really neat things, and let us know about it, please. If you come up with something we haven't spoken about, we'd love to hear it.
Exactly. Thank you. All right, we're going to get into our insight we received today from what I term this tall being, and I asked him his name, and he told me Abba, which means source,
Father.
Or father, excuse me. Oh, same thing. And I think you got it. What
A light master.
Yeah. So really, same thing. So, but we want to share what he had given us today, or earlier today. All right. Here, I'm going to go first, and then Royce will follow up. Humankind is going through a very large undertaking. What you see now is rapidly changing. What you see tomorrow is not what you see today. In the courses to come, man shall move through the jungles of misinformation, falsities of planetary life, into the world of new light manifestations, once the curtains are fully opened. In the cascading events now being seen on the surface of Earth shall be drawn into the consciousness of most man. Many will look away. Be not concerned, for these ones have another path they choose to follow. In the days to come, there will be blasts of energies hitting the earth, some seen and some unseen. The changes in molecular constitutions shall be noticeable. Stay calm, centered, and allow the adjustments within you occur. Some of you will experience strange anomalies. Again, be not dismayed. There is an embracing of multi-dimensions, merging into a new wholeness of being. I had asked. Okay, just a moment. Okay, we have an interruption, so I just want to make sure that you all hear us. All right, I had asked the question, can this be stopped? Because I knew there's some so-called outside sources trying to stop us, on this ascension path, or whatever you want to call it. And then I got immediate no, and it cannot be stopped. And then he said, it is continuous and happening now. It is a process. So those of you that are experiencing changes, because they are going on within our bodies and like everywhere, and stay calm and centered and allow the adjustments to occur. And so some of us are sleeping a little bit more. I have been. Some nights I sleep about 9 hours. Other nights it might be 6 or 7. But lately it's been a little bit more. So, and a deep sleep. So, who knows what I'm doing during my sleeping hours. But do honor your body for whatever it needs. And so if you need rest, and you can do it, just pay attention to it, because your life would be that much easier to go through the processes that we're going through. Okay, Grace.
Okay, and this is what I got from this being who called himself Abba. I have come to represent the inhabitants of the future earth. We have come to a place in our development where war and all the contrivance of war is a distant memory. War is a thing which has served only one thing, and that is to step beyond, for it is a dead-end road. We understand the unrest and the atrocities of such action, for it is a history to us. But it is such a distant history that we do not have any internalization of it. In other words, we have no genetic nor vibrational identification with it. Our focus is on the advancement of the sciences and the arts, and also the diplomatic involvement with the stars and the planets, the other celestial inhabitations, that our evolvement, meaning our evolution, has afforded us. We have come to share a spark of light to humanity, and that spark of light is peace. A time of peace which follows the turmoil. Just a little while longer, and war will be a thing of the past, and earth will once again rejoice, for the dark night will be over. This is all I have to say. Peace follows soon.
Well, to me, that, everything that Abba, as he called himself, said, it's all going to be over soon. And, they don't even understand war. It's not within their genetic makeup, which means, and they are our future selves, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's what it said, that they were here to represent the inhabitants of the future earth.
Which means we're making it through this whole thing.
Yes.
And some people are saying, no, we're not going to make it. They've seen these other timelines and that the earth will be no more and blah, blah, blah. I've seen this in the last few days. And
watch out for the fear mongering.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what that is. I'm not saying that did not happen, but because I had asked, when I received my information, I said, can this be stopped? And then I'm thinking, how can it be stopped when this guy is from our future?
Yeah.
And if he's from our distant future, of course it's not going to be stopped. Stopped. There's no way. He wouldn't have been here to speak to us, but to give us the information that, hey, this is not going to be much longer. We're getting through this. We're going through what I term the final takedown. So, and that final takedown is I call them dark forces.
Yeah, and he referred to it to me as the dark night.
All right. Well, I just think that's a lot to take in, but also I think it's very enlightening.
Yes.
Of what we're going through.
The other side of the dark night.
So there's an embracing of multi-dimensions merging into a new wholeness of being. So it's hard to fathom really what that even means. And I don't think we're the only ones saying this, because I've heard other people that just said it's like we're like a whole new another. They didn't say race or anything like that, but it's hard to explain this, isn't it? Yeah, I'm tongue-tied.
A whole new being that's more inclusive of itself. So like with density, of being. We have generally thought of that as the first three dimensions, and the fourth dimension being that of the spirit, which transverses all of that. I believe I used the right word. And the fifth dimension, that's the time element. So able to go beyond what the first three dimensions were able to do.
It's really like, okay, what does this look like and what we see our reality? But I do think we're still going to have our bodies. I think our bodies are going to be, they're magnificent to begin with. I think we're going to notice that they are even more magnificent because of the power that we have within our DNA.
With the dimensional thing, I had Bev look up what type of chess Spock played, because I could remember that it had dimensions to it, and he played three-dimensional chess.
Or tri-dimensional, as they call it now.
And with the five-dimension chessboard, there would be 5 layers, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
So it's a more inclusive version than the 3. So it's the same thing, but more added to it, more expansion.
Yeah, expansion is a good word. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a bigger view of, and that's, we kind of go by steps when we expand, because if we with the human brain, just relying on that, it would be hard to jump the understanding of 3 dimensions and go right to 5. Being able to understand that we can move through the timelines, with no barrier. So, it might get a little heady, but just look at it as Spock's chessboard has 5 layers instead of 3, but there are actually more, so it'll get more and more inclusive.
And from what I've intuited for the last quite a few years, that it's still going to be extremely exciting. And I think we've talked about this in other podcasts. Some people love to get into the fear and watch scary movies because of the adrenaline. That brings up adrenaline and it makes them, feel differently. And but this is going to be on a level that you're going to feel the peace and the joy and the excitement, and there'll be exuberance. I just heard that exuberance. And so it's and coming up with, I'm going to call it technologies, but not AI. Yeah. I mean, it may AI involved, yes, but there's going to be so much afforded us, and I think a lot of these inventions have been shelved.
Yeah.
And we know we talked about this recently, and but I feel a lot of them have been shelved. So once some of these dark forces are trying to keep us divided, once they are totally taken down, and then these inventions will come off the shelf.
Yeah, it's just like Abba said, our focus is on the advancement of the sciences and the arts, and also the diplomatic involvement out there.
Yeah, that goes along with the different cultures and the sharing of those cultures.
Yeah,
and to me, I mean, it's like, whoa, yeah. So there's I've heard about other places that are being prepared and that we're traveling to and from one of the Jupiter moons or a couple of the moons, that a hub is being prepared there. And I believe that's information that Ilana Danan has brought forward. So it's absolutely amazing what is really going on. And we can say that it's in our timeline, but even that is like, okay, that's multi-dimensions anyway. It's really
we're not earthbound.
Definitely not earthbound. So to me, it's very exciting, and we go on and do our normal, what I term normal daily task, and then when you get into that zone, and then just things will pop in, or sometimes they'll just pop in anyway, especially when you're in the shower.
Yeah, there's that thing about the water, that connection with the water. It opens up the electrical part of us, and we're better receivers.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll say, wait a minute, I'm in the shower, I don't have a pen in here. So, but anyways, it can get comical, and at least it is to me. But these things are happening, and it's happening to most all of us. So, to prepare, if anybody asks, how do we prepare for this? Well, it's just be yourself. Be true to yourself.
And if you start connecting with something that makes you uneasy, cut it off. That's your warning. Stop it, because it's not right for you. There's something not right. Either the being is trying to hoodwink you or something, but just cut it off.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And so I'm sure we're going to have a lot more to share in 2 weeks. So I know we could go on and all of the information that we have received, because there's certainly a lot of it. Royce mentioned her book. Why don't you tell them about your books, if you would?
Okay, the one of them that is more of a story form type of book, that one is called When the Night Comes Creeping. It's the storyline of how I grew up, and how my life was going until I woke up. Something happened, which it happens for, I think, nearly all of us. Something will happen in your life to make you start rethinking what's been going on in your life. You see the world through brand new eyes. And the other one is Walking into the Eye of God, and that one is a book on sacred geometry. And it's really quite interesting. Kind of start off with a dot and end up in the Great Pyramid. And beyond that, Tesseract stuff comes into play, and that's something I never thought I understood anything about, but it's just like inside of me, and that's where this stuff is coming from. It's coming from the inside, and it's just in there. It's kind of hard to explain about that, but I believe that all of us have all this untapped information dwelling within us, and sacred geometry just happens to be my thing. So, and I'm in the midst of writing another one on sacred geometry that will go really, really, really deep. And so who knows when that one will be finished.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting. When she explained some of this to me, I have to admit it's tough for me to understand it the way you see it. So, we all understand it in our own way, mm-hmm. All the connections that we make. And I have 3 books called Mystery of the Universes. And in fact, one of the journals that I've been going back through and got the information about turning the other cheek. Anyways, it's in the same journal. And so right now I'm turned to a page, and it was the date was March the 12th, 2002, and that's when I started receiving the information for my books. So, the last thing it said in my initial information was, the pot is ready, it has reached its boiling point. And man, I hear that boiling point a lot. A lot lately. So it's interesting, and I thought a lot of this stuff that I was told, especially in the first book, it was years ago, and even though there's no time, but it's still hard to comprehend that. But anyways, as I was going through a lot of this, I'm thinking, oh crap, that's happening right now.
Yeah. That the relativity to all of it is it comes back around.
Certainly does. So anyway, I have the 3 books out. Mystery of the Universes is the first book. The second one, same name, the Mystery of the Universes Book 2 and Mystery of the Universes Book 3. And so you can find all three of the books online. And I recommend the paperback copy because there's so much information in them. And but the three books are also available on Kindle on Amazon. So you can do it, get them either way. But I certainly write a lot of notes in my book. So
mine are not available on Kindle, but they are on Amazon. So
okay, and other
places as well. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, we thank you for joining us.
Let me put this in there too.
Go ahead.
Please, when you are looking up to purchase somebody's book, be careful where you get your what your source is, because there are some people out there who they may be meaning well to share information with everybody, but they're cutting us out.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to put food on the table too. So, if you see like a free copy somewhere, just be aware where you're getting things from. It's nice that you would have the information, but it wouldn't help the source where it came from.
Well, I know you spent years and years on your books,
mm-hmm.
especially When the Night Comes Creeping,
mm-hmm.
and I spent a few years on mine also. So I loved it all. It was pretty intense, and then it's out there for the world, and whatever you get out of it. But I think you're going to find a lot of information on both books and understanding ourselves as humans in this world. So a lot of information, and some of it you may understand better than I understand it, because it's just so much that is information that it taps into. All right. If you have any questions for either of us, you can contact and leave your name and number. It's 864-999-3008. And any comments that any of you have, any of you want to share, we always appreciate those, and you can leave those on our YouTube page. We appreciate that. But, and share. Feel free to share these, and I'm talking about books, but this is, I know, these podcasts. So
mm-hmm.
you can send that along. If you feel somebody's going to be helped with this, then
mm-hmm.
please do send it along. We don't care. We're doing this out of our hearts. So, it means a lot to us. So then we're going to continue until it starts changing, and we're not sure what that's going to look like in the future. But we know it's going to be morphing into something else. All right. We thank you, and enjoy the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back.
And I wanted to add that, sometimes with Bev and I, just for an example, we may look at things quite differently. Our beliefs may be a bit different about certain things, but we talk it out, and we have respect for each other. We're different, and we're the same. So please keep that in mind with what's going on in the world today. We're different, but we're the same. So just know that I love you all, and I am so grateful to be here on this beautiful planet with you right now, and I am so glad that you stayed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We'll be back. Our next podcast is going to be December the 12th, so it's going to be 12/12. So that might be an exciting date if you look at numbers. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
See what comes through. All right. Good night, and bless you all.
Good night.